Good morning to one and all. Myself, Master Tanmay Bharambe, welcome you all to the expert talk on entrepreneurship development. I now welcome Mrs. Neeta Deshpande ma'am and Nilesh Alone sir to welcome our chief guest for the day, speaker, engineer Nikhil Kulkarni sir. Yes sir.
Welcome, Nikhil sir. Over to you, Alone sir.
Yeah. Good morning to everyone present here. I welcome Mr. Nikhil Kulkarni to address us on the entrepreneurship development webinar. Uh, and again, I also welcome all the students of final year, third years, and all the staff members who are present here. Actually, one thing I would like to mention here that Nikhil sir was also part of our institute some years back. So he was also working with us. He worked with us actually. So he's really doing a fabulous job in the entrepreneurship development. So once again, I welcome Mr. Nikhil sir, and definitely our students will get our students will get a benefit from your experience and your wisdom and knowledge on related to the entrepreneurship development. Thank you, everyone. Over to Tanmay.
Now I hand over the stage to Nikhil sir, so you can continue ahead.
So let me interrupt in between. We have
Yeah.
to introduce the chief guest, and I just read out the introduction of the guest speaker for the day. Being a startup individualist currently functioning as director, NETRARIT Foundation, RIT, PPI, NRIT, that is Rajaram Bapu Institute of Technology, Sangli, supported by Department of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of Maharashtra, under Maharashtra State Innovation Society Incubator Scheme, and playing an instrumental role in driving the various central and state government policies in and around the region. He has published 4 Indian patents and 10 plus research articles in international journals and conferences. He serves various MSME organizations in India through his knowledge base for improving the business processes, guiding on new trends, research and design works in their products, services as a design consultant. Some of his key positions, which he is currently shouldering, are: he is a mentor, Startup India, Government of India. He is a mentor, NETI, Startup Hub, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India. He is a mentor of change, Atal Tinkering Labs, Niti Aayog, Government of India. He is a member, Governing Council, Board of Innovation, Incubation and Enterprises, Sant Gadge Baba, Amravati University, Maharashtra. He is an advisory board member, Maharashtra Center for Entrepreneurship Development. He is a senior member of IEEE and a member and chartered engineer, Computer Engineering Division, Institution of Engineers, India. He is also Director of Government Grants and Corporate Relations, All India Startup and Entrepreneur Association. So we have such a dynamic personality here to guide us, and students, believe me, who all of you are planning to be an entrepreneur ahead would have guidance, and you can contact him for further assistance and go ahead with your startup. So we welcome you, Nikhil sir. The guidance is all yours. You can continue. Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay,
thank
not
you.
taking not taking much time. I would hand over the dice to sir.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you, Tanmay. Thank you, Deshpande ma'am, Alone sir. It's such a privilege to get introduced by my peers in this session. Few years back, I have worked with Alone sir as well as under the guidance of Dr. Deshpande. And fortunately, I got an opportunity to enter into the sector of innovation and entrepreneurship few years back, and I'm trying to contribute in this ecosystem as much as possible. So, students, to my dear friends, I hope faculties are also there listening the session through this YouTube live. Tanmay, how much delay we are observing for the streaming on the YouTube?
Uh, Max 10 seconds.
Max 10 seconds. Okay. And
Yes.
how the participants can post the queries?
In the chat box.
In the chat box. Okay.
Yeah.
So participants, feel free to post the queries over the chat box. I'll try to answer them in my capacity. So now let us ask the question to yourself. Now, why your institute, why your faculties, why your university, why the state, why the nation is actually trying to focus on the entrepreneurship, right? So this is the darker side of the future. Now we'll see 50 percentage of today's occupations will no longer exist by 2025. Only 18 percentage of engineers are actually getting the job. Actually getting the job means in their own domain. And employability of the management graduates in the functional domain, it remains below the 10 percentage. The functional domains, which I mean to say HR, marketing. So these were the traditional domains. So this is the darker side of the future. So even now, if you are observing your faculties like Dr. Deepak Patil sir, Alone sir, the Deshpande ma'am, so they are not merely a faculty; they are multifunctional, multifunctional human resource to your institute. They are functioning with their own capacity in various domains as well. So now the ecosystem. Now, when I'm saying ecosystem, I'm trying to tell you about the society. So the society is trying to accumulate the people. They are trying to onboard the people who are multifunctional, right? So you might have also seen nowadays, if you see the placement department, so the mechanical engineers are getting the job in the BPO sectors, so ITES industry. So what is the use of your knowledge then? So if you are a mechanical engineer, why you're not getting the job in the mechanical stream? If you are an electrical engineer, why you're not getting the job in the electrical stream? So the answer for that is, now the society is asking for job generators, not only the job seekers. The big agencies, the big industries are becoming the white elephant to the society. Now, what do you mean by startup? So you have the innovation. It means you have a practical implementation of ideas for new goods and services or improvement. And there is then another side of entrepreneurship. So which means a creation or extraction of a value. So the startup means an innovation based incubation system where the innovation and entrepreneurship getting merged together, right? So this is also you need to understand, because the past was different. So it was just to have a 9 to 5 jobs using the company equipment. You need to have the predefined works, then you have no voice, you need to rely on the email, then there is only a corporate learning and teaching. But the future, now when I'm saying future, the present is already getting touched over here. So you need to work 24 by 7, you need to work anywhere, you need to use your own devices, right? You just not need to depend on any of the industry. You should be able to customize your own work. You can become a leader of your own position. You need to focus on adaptive learning, and you need to democratize the learning and teaching, right? Because in this era of the information technology industry, so which is actually touching all of the industries, you need to be you need to be with it, right? So, what do you mean by role of an innovation ecosystem? It gives you the increasing opportunities for employment, which are skill impact. Now, when I'm saying this, I'm just trying to tell you. Now, see, in the engineering, you are learning the 39 subjects, 39 core subjects, one major project in third year, one minor project in the second semester, probably one seminar is there. Now, what is an outcome of it? Is it just to print a black book? No, not at all. If you consider a batch of 60 students of any of the department, so on an average, 4 students are doing one project. So what is the use of that project? Is it just to get the practical marks? No, not at all. You need to have an outcome of that project. You need to create a product of that project. So if with that project, with that learning, if you are going to the industry and if you are working on their projects, why not to create your own projects then, right? And this is how it always depends on the skills which are getting imbibed to you. Also, it is something opening the new ways for creation of wealth through the best practices, right? So there are a few best practices. Now what, just an example to tell you, before UPI there was an internet banking, right? UPI is also an internet banking, but UPI has created a new era of a digital payment. Now everyone is asking to go for an UPI base. starting from your telecom companies, your e-commerce industries, fintech industries, everywhere UPI is there. So UPI became the best practice for the wealth creation of these kind of agencies. Next to that is it is something an introduction and dissemination of new methods and technology, right? So earlier it was we had a fear of an online purchase, we had a fear of giving information online, but now the entire world is uh, going online. Earlier it wasn't fear to have the adoption of the electric vehicles. Now the people are trying to adopt the electric vehicles. Even now the buses, uh, if I'm not wrong, the Nashik is also going to have its first electric vehicle over there, in the public transport. Now, what does it mean? Ultimately, an overall economical growth, and particularly the entirely socio-economical growth should be there. Now, what an entrepreneurship? It's an education, innovation. See, though I humbly respect the personalities like the Steve Jobs or Bill Gates or other people like them, but in their time there was no formal education, there was no formal way. But now we have the formal way of getting introduced to the field of an entrepreneurship. We need to understand the employment, the culture, the business environment, the finance. Now you should be able to understand, being an engineer, if you are creating the world class products, so why not to understand the business behind that product? If you are the creator, see, I do believe, let me tell you very frankly, the farmers and engineers are the only producer in this world, because the farmers are cultivating the crops and engineers are cultivating the new technologies through their own mindset or through their own brain. Now, what is an importance of an entrepreneurship? Ultimately, it creates a jobs, it gives the balanced regional development to you, it contributes to the GDP per capita income. You might have heard of it recently that we have crossed the double digit GDP. Now, why it happened? It is only because of the contribution from the MSMEs, micro, small, medium enterprises, and particularly from the startup ecosystem. We are the third largest startup ecosystem in the world. We have 100 plus unicorn. The day when I'm talking, we might have already crossed the 120 unicorns, right? So when we say unicorns, what do you mean by unicorn? A company which raises the funding or the investment of $1 billion, which nearly comes around 7,500 crores in a single round. So that company is known as an unicorn, and we have 120 plus unicorns the day when I'm talking to you. It gives you standard of living. When we go for an entrepreneurship, it gives you standard of living. It gives the opportunity to export. Before this talk only, I was discussing with one of my startup, and now the startup is actually exporting their product to the some of the underdeveloped countries, right? Why? Because they are just trying to ride on the policies of the underdeveloped countries, so that in the developed countries where the norms are very stringent, they will be able to cater the services to them. Now here I'm in Jalgaon, where there is a lots of banana. It is known as banana city of India. Now here farmers are actually only giving the raw bananas. They are only exporting the raw banana. But now if you have seen, I'll show you the examples also. Now they are trying to export the banana based products, banana and banana allied products to the society, and they are exporting to the developed countries also. It and ultimately, when I'm saying we have a standard of living, the balanced regional development, ultimately it goes for a community development, and finally it goes for a wealth creation and sharing of the things, the best practices. There are some myths related to the entrepreneurship, because many of the time I have heard this that people are discussing this. The entrepreneurs are born, entrepreneurs are high tech professional, entrepreneurs have a good knowledge of English, they should be greedy and too desirous of the wealth, and entrepreneurs are the inventors. No, these are completely myths. So I have shown you a few examples, but I'm going to discuss with you a few examples. So when it has been said entrepreneurs are born, I have one entrepreneur who is working in the biotechnology field, and he is a bus conductor. He's a conductor in the MSRTC. I have a farmer who has cultivated, or who has prepared a farm of 900 mahua trees, and now he is creating an energy drink from that mahua. So when we are saying mahua, people used to say only liquor can be created. No, not at all. When you have a alcohol percentage less than 5, so an energy drink can also be created. I have the self-help group with me, who actually created the maternity pad. The ugliest truth is 90 percentage of the women don't know that there is a pad exists which is known as a maternity pad, a pad which is there for uh, during the delivery. The uh, you have, if there are any vaginal injuries, if you have any sort of operations, so the women actually need the maternity pad. And that maternity pad, first time it has been created in the Jalgaon itself, and those women are now trying to create, and those women are the housewives, right? And now they are trying to create the maternity pad by using the banana fiber. They don't even have the good knowledge of English. People are coming to me and they are giving me a pitch deck. Pitch deck means a presentation in Marathi, and we are ultimately we are talking about an innovation, right? Or innovator. So in the difference between inventor and innovator is, inventor creates something new, they give something new to the society, and innovators give something better to the society rather than which is existing over there, right? So this is what you need to understand from here, that these are completely myths. And I have I'm glad to tell you, I have I gave you the proofs related to that. These are the myths, because we worked on it and we tried to create the best practices in the society in this entrepreneurship. See, there is an example which was happened recently in Nashik, and the media actually gave the huge publicity to it. So one of the person, we had the helmet compulsion over there, right, in petrol pumps. So a person actually tried to do a business out of it. He rented the helmet for 20 to 50 rupees to the people, and people were wearing them. They are just filling the petrol in their vehicles, and while coming out they are giving him the helmet back. Okay, so this is also a business, right? But try to understand, when we talk about our entrepreneurship, when we talk about the startup, it should be an ethical. So though it's a business, right? And see, it's merely a service based innovation, right? But when we talk about startup, when we talk about the entrepreneurship, it should be ethical one. Now, to have the entrepreneurship development, like to have the money management, we have the banks. To have the insurance management, we have the insurance agencies. To have the stock market handling, we have the Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange. So similarly, to handhold the innovations, to give the birth to the entrepreneurship, to have the proper entrepreneurship development, there is an agency, or there is an agency which exists everywhere. Like after a few days, your institute will also establish it, and that thing is known as an incubator. Now, what do you mean by incubator? So what do you mean by incubator? The word actually came from the medical background, or from the poultry farms. So in the poultry farms, the eggs are getting hatched, right? So similarly, in the hospitals, the babies are kept in the glass baby incubator. So which babies are kept over there? The babies which are not physically fit. Those are not good with the health, so that they can match up the outside environment directly. So they are kept in that baby incubator, that glass incubator, for some period of time, let's say for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. So similarly, people like you, the students as well as faculties of any age. So when I'm saying any age, I have the innovator. The youngest innovator in my ecosystem is of an 16 years of age, and the oldest incubator is of the innovator is of the age of 73. So age is not a limit over here when we talk about the incubator in our sector. The only thing what is required, the people come with an idea, right? The people come with an idea, they give the they only go on thinking about the technical aspects, but there are so many things which are required. You require the encouragement for it to start the business. You need the technological facilities, you need the proper mentors, so the technical mentors like your faculties, you need the business mentors like us, you need a network and linkages, you need a market research whether that product is useful or not, you need to the linkages to the strategic partners, you need to understand the legal, financial and IP related services or issues behind that, you need to initiate the uh, fund, the investment from the external agencies like the accelerators, the venture capitalists, the angel investors. So for that purpose, the single stop agency is a incubator, and majority times it's a not for profit agency. So what ultimately in a summary, what is incubator? It gives or it builds a vibrant startup ecosystem by providing a cost effective and value added services to the startups. So these are some glimpses of the facilities of the incubator which they gives. They gives you the office space, they gives you the innovation labs, they gives mentorship, the business establishment, the IPR, the high speed internet. Even they give the facilities for these libraries as well, meeting conference room, to have the casual discussions. They have the cafeterias as well, and few of the incubators they also provide you the visitor hostel facilities also. There are the incubators overall India. So when we are talking in at this point of time, there are 1,000 plus incubation centers in India, supported by the various central government agencies. I'll show you a few of them. So what is an incubator in role of an incubator in nurturing the startup? So there are three phases: pre-incubation, incubation, and post-incubation. So in the pre-incubation, the innovation assessment takes place because once you have an idea, we need to understand the technical and financial feasibility of it. We need to understand the business out of it. We need to model the business plan for it. We need to train you. So that is something known as a pre-incubation. We need the incubation. In incubation, we give you the access to the finance, the seed funds. We give you the proper coaching and mentoring, the hosting, training, commercialization of your idea. I'll give you the genesis of the startup ecosystem in next few slides. And post incubation, what is required? Because once you enter into the market, you need to diagnose the feedback from the customers, you need to get the international support from the people, you need to commercialize the clustering, you need to take your business to the next level, right? So this is an entire genesis of the startup. So we'll go one by one. So ultimately it always starts by understanding the scope of it, right? You need to identify the problem. You know what is the major problem with us? We don't observe the problems, and if you don't observe the problem, what is the use of it then, right? But once you find out a problem, you need to find out the scope of the problem space. We need to define the value proposition, you need to fit to the customer needs, right? Because if you google that useless inventions, you will find out there are so many silly innovations or inventions which took place. Now, why they took place? Because they have not identified the problem in a proper way. So once you have a problem, you need to define the solution framework. And let me tell you, see, let me tell you, to one problem there are more than one solutions, right? So you need to design your solution framework and understand it that it's an iterative process. You need to build test run, you need to build test run, because ultimately it would not be possible that okay, you have identified the problem, you defined the solution and it will work into the society. No, not at all. Make it iterative. But because once you have the at least by thumb rule, if you have 5 to 6 iterations, you will going to identify or you will going to realize that you came up with the proper solution of it. Now once you have problem, you have identified the solution for it, you need to define the business model, because engineers always go with this part, they stopped at this part only, right? But you need to find out the business out of it. So you need to map your the business ecosystem, you need to understand the impact of your solution into that part, you need to define the key partnerships that you want to do, you need to open to the market, right? Once you define the business, you need to pitch to the agencies or to the right people, so that they will sponsor you. You can convince them to sponsor. You can convince the different stakeholders to invest into your minimum viable product version. So minimum viable product is something which is before the ecosystem, before the market, right? So it's a soft entry thing, and its solution to be tested. Also, once you pitch to the product, now it comes to the go into the society. It goes into the market, and it is also an iterative process. You need to enter into the market. You need to be open to take the raw feedback, right? You need to understand the rationally behind it. Once people give you the feedback, you need to work on those feedback, and you have to define the solutions again and again, right? So it's an iterative process, as I said. And why it is required? Because you need to launch the strategy and validate the sustainability of your business model. Because believe me, it's not something that if you are developing something, it will be accepted by the society or the market. You need to convince them that whatever you are developing, whatever you are trying to put into the market, it is doable. It should be acceptable. It is going to give you the solutions to their problems. Once you have this build, test, run activity second time, you need to enter into the market again. You need to launch the product, and you need to track the defined metrics to again have the refinement into your business plan, so that your business model can be sustainable. And this, with this process, it gives you the uh, ultimate growth and scale, right? Now there are few reasons in this entrepreneur development journey why the startups fails. The first important is they run out of cash. They fail to raise the new capital. They develop something which is not required by the market. They got out competed, right? And see, as I told you, we are doing the innovation. We're talking about innovation. Entrepreneurship development always talks about the innovation, right? So you may going to have the competitors with you, but within those competitors, you need to define your USP, unique selling price, your unique value proposition, so that though your competitors will exist, you will be able to provide the services. You need to engage the customer. You need to retain the customer, right, to you. There are some flaws in the business models because of which the startup fails. There are regulatory and legal challenges. I have seen the food technology businesses which are selling the foods without having the food safety licenses. So how their business is going to work, right? They are not with their business model. People are many of the times people are failing to give the proper pricing to their food. Now see, there are two types of customer: mass and class, right? So you need to understand whatever you are defining, whatever solutions you are providing through the entrepreneurship, whether you are developing for masses or you are developing for classes, right? So that you will not get failed. Also, people do have the hesitation to have the team with us, right? And because of that also failure may occur. Then you have the very poor performance product, and this happens because of the poor market research. Then the though it's a passionate thing, so you need to be a consistent. You need to have the perseverance with it. Many of the times I've seen that people are burnt or lacked out of the passion. It should not happen. So this is one of the survey of the Marico Innovation Foundation. So by 2025, these sectors are going to have the investment or the market cap of 3.2 trillion US dollars. Right? So AI is there, 5G, solar PV, drones, big data, robotics, IoT, nanotech, blockchain, gene editing, 3D printing. Now I have given you this slide to just you make aware of that. If you are a mechanical engineer, don't think that AI is not for you. If you are a civil engineer, don't think that the nanotechnology is not for you. Right? You need to be a multidisciplinary candidate. If you are not going to if you are not going to be there as a multidisciplinary candidate, it won't be possible for you to have the uh, you will be outcompeted by the market. So when I'm telling you this, I'll tell you the government of India's Ministry of Education has in 2019 they launched the National Innovation and Startup Policy for faculties and students. Now, what this policy says, I'll give you two major points of it. You may go and browse for this policy on the web, but two major things which I want to put over here is for the students there is a 75 percentage of attendance mandate is there, right? But if with a prior permission, if you are working for any sort of innovation, and if you are taking a prior approval from your authorities, there is an attendance relaxation to the students. There is an attendance relaxation to the students. This is one thing from student perspective. For the faculty perspective, faculties can also start their own startup. Faculties can also start their own startup, and believe me, in our incubation center, we have started the 5 faculty-based startups. So while working as a faculty, they can also onboard themselves as a director over the company. So that is in the policy it has been said there is a non-executive directorship, but also with the due permission of the authorities, faculties can also become an executive director. So the incubation centers which I'm serving as a director, NETRARIT Foundation, it's an incubation center in the Rajaram Babu Institute of Technology. So it's what we are trying to develop over there is we are trying to develop over there as a product innovation center. So we are trying to have the engineering based purely engineering based innovations over there. These are some achievements of our incubation centers that we recently raised the 5 CR funding from Maharashtra State Innovation Society. We have 20 plus startups with us. The few of our candidates who have also received the funding from the central government agencies. We have the Idea Lab as well, the Skill Development Center, and in the COVID-19 product support, we received the support of rupees 8 lakh 2,500 rupees from for ideation to the product commercialization of it. These are some glimpses of about our startups. We have on campus startups, we have virtual startups with us. What services an incubation center can give, this is an example of it. We have the proper mentor pool with us, we have co-working spaces, we have pre-incubation facilities, we have an IP support, we have fabrication facilities, we have tinkering labs, we have financial support with us, the market and client connect, the branding and networking. And this is what the services which are very much essential in the entrepreneurship development journey for anyone, student, faculties, anyone. These are some achievements which I mentioned previously. We have in the RGSTC scheme, our faculty also raised the 53 lakh of funding. We have the few of our startup like StarTech, they have received the prize money of 50,000. Tulip Organic Farms, they have received the funding of 2 lakh rupees. So several startups are raising the funds. These are combined student as well as the faculty led startups with us. This is another part of glimpse of our incubation center. Now this is a summarized kind of thing. So what an incubation center gives you, they gives you access to co-work, they give access to the specialized facilities, the product development and testing, the financial assistance, the patent and IP support. So the central government have the scheme of by the name of SIPP, Startup Intellectual Property Promotion. So in this, if you want to file any patent or any trademark, you will get the 80% of rebate from the central government. Also, the state government has the policy for patent support. They also give you the for domestic patent filing. They give you the support for 2 lakh rupees, and for international patents, industrial designs, copyright, trademark, they give you the funding of up to 10 lakh rupees. We have uh, the quality testing support also. So the quality testing support is there for through the state government support. If you are testing your product through the NABL or BIS accredited labs, so state government gives you the financial assistance of an 80% of whatever expenses which has been incurred during your testing support. Ultimately, you may get the industry, government, and market connect from us, because you are doing an innovation, right? This is the structured pre-incubation program. So if someone asked me, sir, if I have the innovation, how I'm going to be there with you, or how I can start my entrepreneurial journey. So ultimately, it always starts with asking for applications to submit. So there is a proper pitch deck which is required over there to submit. Then we try to understand the innovation and novelty of it, also the financial and technical feasibility of it. We put that proposal in front of the expert committee. Once they approve it, you are getting opportunity to present it in front of the committee. If it goes in a positive way, you will get the opportunity to decide the goal fund sheets for your entire journey. If you are getting failed to present it properly to this the committee, you get an opportunity to refine your business model again with our support. Also, once you define your goals for the period of 3 to 6 months, you will get the funds from our end, and you will get the trainings from us on a regular basis. And those trainings are like related to the IPR, legal, financial aspect. If you need a deep deep discussion with the mentors, that is also made possible from our end. And we make the regulatory compliances, or we make the regulatory monitoring for your journey, so that you will not get any sort of failure for your journey. These are some glimpses of the entrepreneurial ecosystem. So when I'm saying the India is the third largest startup ecosystem, so fortunately Maharashtra is also taking leap into it, right? So more than 50% of startups are from Maharashtra only. So these are some examples. Few of our students, they have through their education, they have started their own businesses. These are some examples of the Jalgaon, which I'm serving as a manager. So we tried to develop the local innovation ecosystems also. So if you need to post this session, if you need to have the detailed journey of an entrepreneurship development, so you can go on internet and you can just browse it. Startup India Learning Program. It's an initiative from Government of India, which is for you people at no cost. It's a pre-recorded 4 weeks of program. The successful entrepreneurs and faculties, they have their pre-recorded sessions over there. You can listen to them. The beauty of the second version of this Startup India Learning Program is, while listening to the sessions, the software or the program asks you few survey questions, and at the end of it, you are not going to have only the Government of India certificate, but you are also going to have the business model canvas of your own idea. So that is the beauty of this program. On smartphones, on Android Play Store, it is the app is available by the name of SILP. On Apple App Store, it is not yet available. So with this, I'm taking a pause. These are my contact details. You can get in touch with us. You can connect me over social media. There are so many things to discuss. I'm posting every day, regularly. I'm posting the policies and things related to it. So Tanmay,
Yes, sir.
hello.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm just showing a few portals
Yeah.
where the participants can go for it. So this is the portal, the startupindia.gov.in. So it is an ultimate portal where you can get all of the resources, network, the details related to the schemes and policies of the entrepreneurship development, the different sorts of programs. So if you want to participate in any of the challenges over there, so nationally and internationally, whichever challenges are happening, they are going to be there. There is another portal by the name of MARG. So the MARG stands for there is a full form of MARG: Mentorship, Advisory, Assistance, Resilience, and Growth. So this is the portal. It is given as a one-stop platform for startups to have the one-stop facilitation and guidance across the sectors. This is so these are two central government portals for the entrepreneurship development, and this is the state government portal for entrepreneurship development. So now the Maharashtra Startup Yatra is happening in entire state. So you may go and see in this portal. You may apply for the portal facility over there. So these are some different initiatives if you want to see the different sorts of incubation centers in Maharashtra. So these are the incubation centers initiated by the government of Maharashtra. Also, as I said you about the IPR facilities and everything. So these are the facilities or the funding given by the state government to you people. Also, the another quality testing. So these are the details to you. So as I said, you need a perseverance to adopt the entrepreneurship with you. So ultimately, from where you can start, whatever, let's say a very small project you are doing as an hobby itself, try to see the business out of it. Okay. So Tanmay, it is
Yes, sir.
it is over from my end.
Okay, we will be going with the some question answers. I
Yes.
request students to post their questions in the chat box. We'll be taking up from there. So for now, we have one question. I'll be showing it on the screen.
Okay, sir, I had a question regarding the fall of the unicorns. They get over the inflated and then suddenly drop. What while business which are 50 years do highly sustainable business. So what is your take on it? So Tejas, the thing is, na, see, whenever anything happens in the society, so some gray spots are also taking place. So this is one of the gray spot. So what the startups are doing, na, the startups are actually trying to have the they try to increase the valuation. So they are getting funding from one source, the another source, and they're just trying to create the they're just trying to inflate their valuation rather than contributing to the society. This is what the happening in the startups in the metro cities, and that's why there is a fall happening. So having a valuation is not only an important, creating valuation it is okay at some level, but to enter into the market with a full trust, to have the rolling of your cash flows, that is also important. So we have few of these stories which we have seen the fall of the different unicorns. Let's not name them to the public platform, but yes, my take on it is not only to increase the valuation, it is also to the going with the hmm, going with the increasing your cash flows into it.
Guys, we are here to answer your questions. So feel free to ask any kind of question. Till that I will tell you the links which all sir showed you all will be in the description box and as well in the chat.
Okay, I got a question from Dr. Neeta Deshpande to give the details of the funding which is there. So let me tell you just a thing. Huh? I'm just trying to show you the slide which I have with me, which covers all of the funding agencies. Hmm.
So till that we have a new question. Can
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
proceed
Please,
with that?
please go ahead. Please go ahead.
So the question is like from Ayush Birari. So since now many things have been developed in the world, so we have to
Mhm.
think for new things for our startups, or we can modify or make new versions of things we have
Mhm.
now in live world.
So
So I
since
didn't
now
got.
we have many things I have to develop. So Ayush, I'm not getting your question. So you are asking, thinking of a new things for a startup, or we can modify. See, that's what I'm saying. If you identify a problem, so you can give a solution to that problem. So that solution will definitely be an uh, betterment of an existing solution in the society, right? So it is not going to be an invention. It is going to be a innovation. So for the Dr. Deshpande's question, I'm just sharing you my screen.
Yes.
Is it visible?
No, sir. Yeah.
Acha. So these are some central government agencies from where you can get the funding support. The one stop portal is in Startup India, which I've shown to you. The another portal is an innovateindia.mygov.in. It's a public portal where the publicly problems are being thrown to the society, and you may give the solution, and the funding will be provided from the central government. One of the agency by the name of Niti Aayog is there in central government. It's the biggest think tank in India. Niti stands for National Institution for Transforming India. They work on the agenda of an United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goal, and they have their own vertical by the name of Atal Innovation Mission. So in this Atal Innovation Mission, there are three sub verticals are there. Atal incubation centers, which are there in the engineering institutions. Atal community innovation centers, which are there in the rural areas, and these two are for the innovators of the age more than 18 years. And for the school level, we have the Atal tinkering labs, so they give the funding. Apart from this, there is a ministry by the name of Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. They have the initiative by the name of MITI Startup Hub. So under this MITI Startup Hub, they have the facility, the scheme of a Tide 2.0. So they have established the incubation centers all over the India under this scheme. We also have another initiative by the name of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. So they here the engineering institutes take the villages on the challenge mode. They try to identify the problems of them. They try to define the problem and business model of it, and the central government gives the funding. The nodal agency for this one is uh, IIT Delhi, and under the observation of the Ministry of Education. One of the pioneering agency in this entrepreneurial journey is the Department of Science and Technology. So they have the incubation centers all over the India by the name of Nidhi TBI, right? So with this Department of Science and Technology, you can also take the financial support, and all these agencies are transparent online. You can just go and type or Google it, you will get the support. Since just 10 years back, the government thought now we are not going to have only engineering based innovations, but we also need to think about the biology based innovations, right? So because healthcare is one of the biggest issue in India, so Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, they started with the one of the agency by the name of BIRAC. So BIRAC stands for Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council. So this BIRAC, they gives the support to the biotech or biology based innovations. So whatever discussed with till now, it is related to the technology business incubation or business incubation, right, or the business innovation. Now we do have the day to day businesses, right, like spices making, soap making, the bakery products. So these are also the businesses, but for serving those businesses, we have the central government agency by the name of Micro Small Medium Enterprises, and through the KVIC. Fortunately, KVIC there is in Nashik. It's just on the way of Trambakeshwar. So this Khadi Vikas Industrial Commission, they gives the mentoring as well as financial assistance to the livelihood businesses. So this covers the sort of funding which is there from the central government agencies. For state government agencies, I have already shown it to you.
Yes, I think we are almost done with the question and answer session. But I have a personal question from my side. You in the previous session you said that most of the startups are not market based or market analyzed. So what does
Mhm.
exactly market analyst mean, and how can we do it?
Okay. Mm, Let me tell you an example. Mm, the startup which I talked to you about, that maternity pad, right? So the women actually came to me and they said, "Sir, we are the only one who are making the pads, but our pads of cost of 40 rupees." And then I asked, is there anyone who is purchasing in Jalgaon? So they said, "Sir, we don't have any customer from Jalgaon." So when I said them, why don't you have the customers in Jalgaon? So they said, "So sir, when we are going to the nurses or the hospitals, they are saying we already customizing by our own self and we are distributing them." Now then we try to understand why there is a huge amount of cost with those maternity pads, why there is a negligence of pads. So when the question arose in our minds, then what we did, we just went to the Google, we just googled about, are there any maternity pads which are available, are is there a definite, and see, they came up with only one problem, that this is been used only during the pregnancy, correct? So when they said about only one problem, so their solution will be fit into that problem only. So when I said, why maternity pads are required, so they are saying that, they said that there is a huge blood loss during that pregnancy, right? So because it's a cesarean, na, nowadays the normal pregnancies are not happening, and in the cesarean pregnancy, the huge blood loss is there. So to save them from the blood loss, we required it. So then I said, are there any cases? So see, we started asking the questions. So when we sit together, we started asking the question. So I said, which are different use cases when the blood loss happens? So they said, ki, sir, when any vaginal injuries comes, see, another, see, their target market increased, right? Because
Hmm.
second solution came, na,
Yeah.
or the second problem has been identified. Then I said, is there any another? They said, yes, it is possible, because in the during the age of 50-52 years, women are operating themselves, right? For not having the birth of a child, they are just operating themselves. At that time also it happens. So the third solution came, or the third problem has been identified. Then again, is there any another problem which is there? So they started thinking, right? And this is how 4 to 5 use cases came to us, and then we googled it. What is the issue with this? Secondly, why the women are having the negligence? So why there is a negligence? Because ultimately that women are not knowing. In previously I told you, 90 percentage of women, if you just take a survey of the participants which are with us now, even I'm pretty much sure 90 percentage of women faculty and students are also not knowing that there is a thing which is in existence. Next, I said, are you the only one in the entire world, those who are developing the maternity pads? Then they said, yes, sir, we are the only one. We just Googled it, and in just 5 minutes, we came to know there are 8 companies which are developing the maternity pads, and not all 8, 2 companies out of them, they are the maternal lingeries, washable and reusable bamboo fiber based lingeries are there. So this is a market survey. So once you start asking questions to yourself, na, you just need to find the answers to you. Because I have a simple theory with me. Try to understand. There are the things that you know that you know. There are the things that you know that you don't know. And there are the plenty of the things that you don't know that you don't know. So what you need to do, you need to take yourself from the third phase to second phase. What I don't know. Then you will question yourself where I am going to find the solution of it.
Yeah.
Right? So negligence is not only the issue about the pets, but the second thing is, or they have the reluctance. The women in the tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities, where nowadays women are regularly using the sanitary pads. So the maternity pad is another side of story. So this is how you need to question, you need to go into the market, you need to discuss with the people, and I'm not, I'm telling you what happened ना. Many of the times people are saying ये मेरा है ना तो सिर्फ मेरा ही है, मैं किसी को बताऊंगा ही नहीं. अब भाई बताएगा ही नहीं तो होगा कैसे? If you're not
Correct.
going to open to the world, if you're, so what they say ना, नहीं वो मेरा idea लेके जाएगा. And let me tell you the ugliest thing. uh, Ma'am has introduced me about the patents. Huh? One of my patent, what I did, I just did the modification in the existing patent and I took the new patent.
Oh,
Nearly a 5% of modification I did. So people are saying, no, 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 my idea is very unique, very unique. That's what I'm saying. You're not doing invention, you're doing innovation. You need to
yeah.
discuss with the people. You need to open with the people. If you're not going to open, nobody's going to help you.
So, sir, we have a few more questions. We
Yes.
can come up with that.
Yes, yes, yes. So Sarvesh is saying, sir, can you please tell me more about incubation and how to become an incubator? No, 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 no. Sarvesh, you are not going to become an incubator. You can become an innovator. Your institute can become an incubator. So post this session, I'm going to have a detailed discussion with your faculties how to start the incubation center. Just for in a summary, just try to understand incubation is something nurturing the innovator. एक शुद्ध मराठीत सांगायचं झालं तर जसं आई बाळाचं संगोपन करते ना तसं इन्क्युबेशन सेंटर हे इनोव्हेटरचं संगोपन करतात 360 डिग्रीने. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन तन्मय.
Yeah. What advice would you like to give to someone just starting a business?
So starting a business or starting an entrepreneurship, there is a question from me because business is always a trading kind of thing. You are just taking you're just purchasing something in bulk and you are selling into the retail market. But if you're talking about an entrepreneurship, as I'm stressing on it, you need to find out the problem. You need to look into the society, and that's what I showed you the portal. So Purnima, what you can do, you can just go and Startup India portal. In that we have they have the tab by the name of programs, and you can just find out what are the problems which has been given by the societies. Maharashtra Startup Yatra, you can just go in Nashik. It is going to happen, I think, in the end of the September. You can just go on the portal msins.in. Tanmay has already posted that link. Next one.
So,
Yes.
thinking out of the box is correct approach for innovation. Is it necessary? It
Yes,
should be
yes,
unique idea.
yes, yes. No, no, no. You should think out of the box. Nobody thought that payments are going to happen within few seconds. So it is just thinking out of box. We as an Indians, uh, we do send the SMS just before the that Diwali celebration. Why? To save our 1 rupee of an SMS. But nowadays we are using the WhatsApp, we are using the social media. So because of these kind of innovations, the chattings and everything, now it is possible to have the appropriate greetings to the people. So this is thinking outside of the box. Let me tell you, Kushal, as you asked, na, I'll tell you, and don't take it otherwise. Huh? I'm just giving a uh, very different example. So in my sessions, I do ask, in my offline sessions, I do ask to the people directly, can women pee while standing? So they feel strange why such question has been asked, right? Women cannot pee while standing. And then I said, then I'm saying to the people, there are the cups which are available in the metro cities where the women can go into the public toilets and they can pee while standing. Now, why it is required? Because there was a major issue behind it. The public toilets hygiene is the biggest issue in India, and because of that women are having the reluctance to go into the public toilets, and because of that they are having more and more pH imbalance or health issues with them. And someone actually came, then they thought na कि if such issue is happening, can we have any solution for it? So there are two possible solutions na. Either you clean the toilets or you can devise a solution. So second one was thinking of an out of the box, and out of the box is ultimately an unique idea. Okay, next one.
Okay, we have one more question. What do
What
you
do you
consider? Yeah.
non-negotiable in your business? Uh, Jnaneshwari Naneshwari, can you just elaborate the question again? It is very abstract question to me. So till that time, I'll answer the Atharva's question. Atharva was
Yeah.
asking how to gather resources related to the finance model traction for a product. So if you'll go to the Startup India portal, there is a separate training section is available. So in that you can get the training for legal, finance, every aspect of a startup. You should complete the course of this one, Startup India learning program. So that you will get more and more idea of it.
Otherwise, also asked finances of a model.
Yeah. So he was just rectifying his question. So
Okay, we have gotten feedback from Alone sir. Nikhil sir, excellent and knowledgeable session. Thank you very much for your valuable time and sharing your experiences with other students. That was
pleasure to
seriously a
serve, sir.
fun
Pleasure to
session,
serve.
sir.
Thank you so much. So if there are no more questions, Atharva, I'm just resharing the screen for to just ask the students or the participants to take the snapshot of this and to connect with me over the social media
So,
for any further correspondences. Thank you so much. Acha, screen is not visible.
no, sir. I was saying the same. Yeah.
Acha, is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Just a minute, Atharva. Yes. So Atharva, you may take the snapshot of it and distribute to the participants later on. Thank you so much. So if there are no more questions again, we'll take a pause here. Naneshwari, you can ask your question later on because your question was too abstract.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Tanmay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir. Thanks to come here and give your valuable time to us. Thank you.
yeah. Pleasure to.